Hey, family, what's up? What's good? What's going on? How y'all doing? I hope that wherever you are doing great and having a wonderful week. I thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And as you know, it's a Wednesday, so we are going to be going through the weekly meditation verse. And every Sunday, I post a weekly meditation verse in which we will focus on and basically allow that verse to be our verse for the week, to be guided by God through it, and to gain more understanding and wisdom by meditating on that verse, right? And so every Wednesday I come on here and I share with you my own understanding of that verse as I have meditated upon it. And I do that with the hopes that it encourages you and it adds to your own understanding and your own revelation of the word. And I highly recommend that you share yours in the comment section below so that we all get to grow together and we all get to gain the understanding that God has revealed to each of us through that verse. So as I was looking at this verse, it is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, which reads, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This is such an encouraging word, right? It's like when you read it at first sight, you're like, right. So as you hope in God, you automatically get a boost in your strength, right? And then I was just like, I think it goes a little deeper than that. And as I was looking at it, I just really began to focus on that very first line. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. And this is going to be the main focus of my sharing today. And when we look at it, hoping in the Lord is a lot more than what meets the eye. If you read the verse in other translations, for example, in the King James Version or in the Message translation or the Amplified translation, the word hope is replaced with the word wait. So hoping in God, hoping in the Lord involves waiting on God. The process of waiting on God is not about sitting and doing nothing. I think that this is a misconception that a lot of beginner believers, so to speak, fall under, right? Like fall trap too. And this is something that I know for me in the beginning when I read this verse or when I heard it, I was like, oh, so it's just like you're waiting on the Lord that doesn't require me to do anything, which is not true, right? There is a process of waiting on God that is required, right? It is made up of important tools, so to speak, which are a requirement for the process of hoping and waiting in God, in the Lord. These tools are praying, fasting, and reaffirming of your faith in God and His ability to do all things, including what you are hoping in Him for. So if we break this down, what praying does is it keeps you in close communication with God, right? You are in praying, allowing yourself to stay close to Him and in Him to remain closer to you. I believe it's a part of strengthening your relationship with God. What praying also does is it opens the opportunity for God to speak to you. In Him speaking to you, He will either encourage you or He will guide you on what you need to do, or He will reveal something to you you would otherwise have not been able to see had you not been in prayer. And the other part of that, which is fasting. Fasting, I would say, humbles us. I know that other people teach about other forms of fasting, which is all good, but for this video, we're going to focus on fasting from food. That whole thing of allowing yourself to be in a place where you go hungry and you don't feed yourself anything and you feel hunger pains, that is a humbling process. right? Especially if you are maybe a person who is used to eating the moment you feel like eating something, or you nibble in between meals, or whatever your process is, right? When you get to your state of mind where you're like, I'm just going to give that up and just go without food for a couple of hours or days, depending on which fast you're doing, that process can be quite humbling, especially if you really commit to it and stick to it. It humbles you in mind, body, and spirit. When you're fasting, you get to practice self control, which is one of the fruits of the Spirit, as stated in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 to 23, if you want to go read through those. In fasting, you get to control your mind, body, and your heart, because the heart has its own desires, right? And a lot of temptations will present themselves, or trying to convince you that you have done enough fasting before your actual scheduled end time for your fasting. Or you find yourself thinking, I've fasted quite a lot before in the past. I'm sure God will be okay if I just like break this one or cut this one short, or whatever, the narrative that comes up in your mind, right? Because it really can get to that point, and you start bargaining with yourself and bargaining with God when you get to the edge of your limit, or the limit that you had been used to, and you have to like keep being strong to push that barrier, to push past that limit, so you create a new limit for yourself. The more you practice your ability to control yourself, the more you are gaining in strength and in spirit. Fasting also gives God an open invitation to feed your spirit in wisdom and clarity and love. It also feeds into the purpose of your fast. In other words, it strengthens the purpose and the conviction behind your fast. The Bible tells us that God rewards fasting, which is great, right? I mean, that's amazing, and it's very kind of God to do that, right? To always give us opportunities to reward us, even when we are actually gaining more than He is gaining. I, however, do believe that it is important to also fast without expecting anything from God in return sometimes, right? To just grow closer to Him in the relationship that you have with Him. In between praying and fasting, I believe that constantly affirming and reaffirming your faith, when faithfulness is another fruit of the Spirit, this all is an important a part of the process of waiting on God, of hoping in God, right? I believe it serves as an anchor when you are reaffirming and constantly affirming what you believe God can do and what you believe God would do for you, what you're hoping He will do for you, and how you believe that He is able and capable to do all above that you could ever even think or ask Him. And that you know in your heart that all things are possible in Him and through Him. And in doing that, it also gets to rewire your brain to anchor in new beliefs, new belief systems, new thought patterns, right? That are positive to you, that serve you positively. And these not only get you to create new beliefs about God, but about you and everything concerning you, right? You get to shift your life in this way. When you look at all this strengthens your spirit to where you will soar, you will run, and you will walk in your purpose and in life without tapping out, so to speak, right? You won't give up. You won't grow weary. You won't faint, because you are strengthened in your spirit through your praying, through your fasting, and through your reaffirming of God's faithfulness while you are waiting on Him, right? You are doing something in your wait on God, right? It's like that Maverick City song, Wait on the Lord. In the end, the artist says it's about what you do when you are waiting. So waiting is not about you just chilling. you are doing something in your waiting. And in doing that, you will be able to endure the tough times and come out on top in the end. And you'll be stronger, you'll be wiser, and you'll be closer to God than you may have been before. So, family, keep hoping in the Lord and knowing that you are not only getting stronger, but the victory is yours and will always be yours in the end, because you are always gaining and receiving more than what meets the eye. So keep hoping in the Lord and know that you are renewing your strength and that you will not faint and you will not grow weary, that you are only gaining victory upon victory upon victory. You are winning in the process. I pray that this word has been encouraging to you. I would love to hear what your own revelations were as you meditated on this word. So do leave that in the comment section below. Do like the video so that other people can be made aware of this video so that they also get to gain the same wisdom and understanding that we did. I hope to see you again next time, God willing. Thank you once again for listening and for watching. Take care, family.